Let us move on to the next part of this. Once we got to know the analysis, once we got to know our current process, how we document our process, we can now go to the next stage, which is data collection. All right, how are we going to collect? This thing is the same when it comes to this data collections for our system, especially development. We always go back to over here, which is the interview. All right, we always go back and interview the them. All right. Well, how we know how we're going to draw the process? We cannot simply imagine, right? We cannot simply imagine, or we cannot simply imagine, right? We cannot simply come out with our own idea, saying that okay, this is how it flows. Of course, that doesn't make sense at all, right? We cannot do that. So what we can do is we can first go and interview. All right, that's how we get this process. All right, how we know like what steps, what is the first, what is the second in interviews. We interview the person. All right, we interview the person. We interview the one that is doing the process. All right, then we can also do document review. Well, here's the same. All right, if remember the part where we ask about the needs, right? You remember the first stage when we want to know whether they really need to solve this problem or not. We also interview them. In this case, when we want to know how they do their work, their process, we also interview them. All right, so interview is like one of the main thing that we'll be seeing throughout the survey, the planning, the design state not really, right? But this is why we do the analysis state, right? We're going to analyze the current system process. We have to actually interview them. All right, then we do the document review. Document review, we review what kind of data being produced, or what kind of documents that has been generated, or what kind of source document that they are inputting into the system. All right, or what kind of documents that they would be getting out at the current state. All right, we cannot assume them. We need to go through them one by one. All right, and of course we should also observe. All right, we need to observe. Observation. All right, observation. Observe what they are doing, and this is the most important one of all of this. All right, you need the eyes over here. All right, let me just make this move forward. You need the observation. Let me just need the documents. All right, you interview with another people over here, and most importantly, this is the most important one, which is walkthrough. All right, you need to go through with the person, the user, the person that is involved. You need to go through with them step by step how they do the things. So basically walkthrough is like you are following them, all right? You want to follow them, following how the person is doing their work, all right? You're gonna follow them from the minute they start the process until the minute they end the process, all right? So with this, all right, 4 methods are used to do the data collections, all right? These are the major one, all right? Let me see over here. So maybe I've overshot the time over here, try to discuss about this, but right, I'm just gonna stop over here. This is how we do the data collection.